What's up, friends, fellow card collectors, Card Hobbyists here, and today we're going to be doing a video response for Swing Away Sportscards, who's doing a contest to give away some prizes for fantasy baseball lineup. Like, how would you construct a fantasy baseball lineup? He asked to put one together, show some cards for it, and you can do either just a basic lineup or you can do a full fantasy lineup where you have, substitutions and more pitchers and all that. I'm just going to do the basic because I really don't have that many cards to show, as you see as I show off one of the cards. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. First, Swing Away Sports Cards wants us to shout out 3 channels that are under 200 subscribers, so I'll go ahead and do that. The first one is Texas Card Dude. Texas Card Dude does a lot of live streams, little short live streams, where he gives his thoughts on the hobby, sometimes works packs, collects all sorts of stuff, everything from NASCAR, basketball, football, baseball. He pretty much rips a whole lot of everything. Surprising that he's under 200 subscribers. Sometimes you see him on Hobby Hotline as a guest host, but definitely check him out. I have a link to all these channels in the description below. Next up, we have Card Wolf. I believe Amio shouted out Card Wolf on his channel as well. But yeah, Card Wolf, one of those a newer channel that really I've come to love watching because a lot of his collecting kind of falls in line with the way I collect, in a way, I guess you could say. So his channel will be in the description below. And last but not least is Mick over at Dead Centered, under 200 subscribers, which is surprising. Mick is a Australian collector over there across the Pacific Ocean from, most of us are definitely US based. So it's good to see collectors abroad, and Mick's a great one over at Dead Centered. So definitely go check out his channel in the description and give him a follow. Yeah, definitely does some great videos. So let's go ahead and get to the lineup, the fantasy lineup. We're going to start off with catcher, and then first base, second base, third base, shortstop, outfielders, utility, and pitcher. So let's start off with catcher, and my pick for a catcher would be Mr. Salvi Perez here. Picked him over Rio Muto, Will Smith, probably the other top catchers in the league as far as offensive perspective you're looking at. Salvi had a breakout year last year, hit a lot of home runs, way more home runs than he's ever hit in his career. So it was good to see that. He's a little bit older, on the upside of 30. He's not that old, but he's on the other side of 30 when the league has gotten very young. So definitely an old hand in the league. Hopefully Salvi can recreate that magic he had last year, have another great season. First base, my bias, being a Braves fan, wanted to pick Freddie Freeman, but I'm going with somebody else. And no, it's not Matt Olson, who I think is another solid pick for first base, but I got to go with the young stud here, Mr. Of course, it won't focus probably because of the glare on it. There's a Vladdy Jr. I think, he had his breakout season last year and should continue on. Was definitely one of the most hyped prospects coming out of the minors. Finally showing what he can do with the bat, and MVP candidate right there, Vladdy Jr. That'd be my pick for first base. For second base, y'all know me. Who am I going to pick for second base? Of course, I'm going to go with my boy, Mr. Ozzy Albies. If I can focus. There we go. This is a Contenders Optic pink refractor, or pink prism. Numbered out of 25. This one was sent to me from Mr. Scotty Arena. Awesome card. Just sent it to me out of the blue. Couldn't believe it. Thank you, Spidey, for this amazing card. But yeah, this would be my pick for second baseman. I don't know who my second choice for second base be. I mean, Trey Turner played second base last year, but with Corey Seager now with the Rangers, I think they're going to move Trey back to shortstop. Any Dodgers fans out there can let me know that. So I don't know if Trey would be a choice for second base, even though he's probably going to play shortstop this year. Trevor Simeon, or Marcus Simeon, not Trevor Simeon, Marcus Simeon, is another choice. Good choice for second base. All right, for third base, one of the more underrated players. There's quite a few underrated third basemen in the league. You got Devers, Machado. I wouldn't say is underrated. Still really good. A lot of people just don't like Machado because of his personality. Austin Riley had a great season last year. It'd be interesting to see if he could back that up with another year. My pick for third base is Mr. Jose Ramirez. Shout out to Scott over at Reindeer Studios, Mike the Card Dude. Throwing a little Indians in there so y'all won't get angry. There's not an Indian. Excuse me, a Guardian. But yeah, Jose Ramirez would be my choice for third base. All right, so I was mentioning earlier I didn't have that many cards of certain players, and this is one of them, and it would be shortstop. And everybody knows who you would pick for shortstop, and there's no other choice here. Trey Turner, I mean, is a solid choice. Bo Bichette's a solid choice, but none of them are on the level right now of this guy. And this would probably be my first overall pick, besides maybe the next guy I'm going to show. But yeah, this would probably be my first overall pick. And if I couldn't get this guy, I would get the next person I'd show. But for shortstop, of course, that's going to be... It'll focus on him. There's a lot of players on this card. That guy right there, Fernando Tatties Jr. This is the only card I have with Tatis on it. All my other Tatises I've sold or given away. I just don't collect Tatis. So yeah, I just haven't really ripped a lot of packs over the past year. So I haven't really come across much Tatis. But yeah, Fernando Tatties Jr. Pay no attention to this guy. But yeah, that would be my number one pick for fantasy and shortstop. Such a premium position. Putting up those numbers from a premium position. Plus he plays a bunch of outfield too. So it'd be good to flex him out there if needed. All right, for outfield, I said this player would be my number one pick if I didn't get Tatis Jr. And it would be a no-brainer for a first pick in the league. You know, the only difference is he plays outfield while Tatis plays shortstop, and that is Mr. Juan Soto. Definitely one of these up-and-coming generational talents. A lot of young studs in the league with Soto and Tatis and Guerrero. You know, these are the guys that are carrying the going to carry the league up for the next 10 years. And yeah, so Juan Soto has put up ridiculous numbers. Start of his career is very, very impressive. One of the best hitters in the league by far. Had a bit of a down season last year, but it was still very good. I think he might have been injured for part of it, or missed some for, you know, virus reasons. But yeah, Juan Soto is definitely one of my outfielders. And then for my other outfielder, got injured last year, was putting up a really good season. This might be a risk in fantasy depending on how he returns from injury. That, of course, is... You already know who it is. It's just not trying to get the camera to focus on it. Ronald Cooney Jr. right there on the right. Pictured here with Albies. There we go. Finally focused. And then it went out of focus. But yeah, Ronald Cooney Jr. would be my other pick for fantasy. Definitely interesting to see how he returns from an injury. Will it affect his speed, his base stealing capability? Will he be more reluctant to try to steal bases? But you know, that was a big part of his game before was his speed on the base pass. Hopefully that he can have a full recovery and is able to still steal bases and play great defense in right field and, you know, mash home runs. People think, oh, you're swinging with your arms, but you know, swinging a baseball bat's a whole body thing. A knee injury can affect your swing for sure. So really looking forward to seeing how he turns out this year when he's able to eventually come back. He's probably not going to play for the first part of the year, which would be a very tough reason to pick him for a fantasy team, because he may not even play early in the year, depending on his recovery, how it's coming. So, but you never know. But I guess we'll find out once this lockout ends. All right, so for the last outfielder is, how can you forget about this guy? I know a lot of people would want Harper there, but no, how about Mike Trout? Mike Trout. There we go. He was injured last year. Didn't have a good year because he was injured. The year before that was the virus year. So this guy was the all-everything best player in the league for years. Some people are already believing he's regressing, but if he can stay healthy, even an average Mike Trout year is a very, very good year for most other players. So you really can't go wrong with Mike Trout. It's just, if he can stay healthy, which, you know, hopefully he will, because he dominated the league and he's not old by any. He's still under 30, which is amazing for as long as as many years as he's been in the league. He's still under 30 years old. And yeah, how can you count him out? He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, already he's a Hall of Famer. So you can't pass on Mike Trout. Okay, for utility player, this one's pretty easy too. I mean, if you're going to have a utility player, why not have a player that can hit and pitch? And that would be Mr. Shohei Ohtani. What he did last year was definitely worth the MVP. If he does it again this year, he may win MVP again. I mean, he may get diminishing returns on votes for MVP, even if he has the exact same season like he did last year. And then you might have diminishing returns because people are like, oh, well, it's not that impressive. He did it last year. But still, there's nobody else in the league that's doing that. There's nobody in the league that's ever done that. And I know what you want to say Babe Ruth, but Babe Ruth didn't have the hitting season and the pitching season at the same time that Ohtani had, I don't think. Which is pretty wild. So I mean, Babe Ruth, you know, once he switched over to hitting and stayed hitting, that's where he made, you know, his legend. Ohtani's making his legend in both places, mainly as a hitter, but he's still a very good pitcher. And if you have a elite hitter that's a pretty good pitcher, that's MVP every year. They're able to do that, in my opinion. All right, so last for starting pitcher, kind of juggled this one between 3 or 4 players. You had Max Scherzer, Corbin Burns, Garrett Cole, Robbie Ray. I don't know how he's going to turn out in Seattle. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I got to go with the guy that was just absolutely dominant last year before injury, and has been dominant for years before, and that is the Degrominator. You know, pains me to say it as a Braves fan, but this dude is a beast. Such a beast. He has such bad luck out there. He'll throw 8 shutout innings and a reliever comes in and gives up a 2-run bomb and the Mets lose 2-1, and it has nothing to do with DeGrom, but he doesn't get the win. That's why wins are such a poo-poo stat in my opinion, because that's a team stat, not a pitcher stat. But yeah, Jacob DeGrom I think is still the best pitcher in the league. You know, shouts out to Corbin Burns, Garrett Cole, Robbie Ray. I still think DeGrom's the best guy. Zach Wheeler's pretty good. Scherzer's pretty good. A lot of great starting pitchers out there. But you got to go with DeGrom. So that is my lineup. Yeah, I rambled probably long enough just talking about 10 players. So I'll let you all go for the day. Check out Swing Away Sportscards. I have a link to their giveaway video in the description below. So head over there and check it out. Give them a follow or subscribe. Hit thumbs up if you can. Also, leave a comment. Thumbs up on my video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm trying to at least do content once a week. It's a little tough to find the time sometimes, but you know, I'm still trying to make an effort to do content at least once a week instead of disappearing for months like I did in the fall. But yeah, I'm not going to go on a ramble tangent here. This is the response video for Swing Away Sports Cards. It's about his channel. It's also about Texas Card Dude, Card Wolf, and Dead Centered. Their links will be in the description below. Go check them out. Remember, you can only control 2 things. It's your thoughts and your actions, so stay positive. Keep ripping them packs, keep collecting the cards, filling up the binders, keep smacking your camera around in any which direction you can. And remember, don't let eBay comps determine your fun in the hobby. And I'll catch you all later. Peace.